The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys! This is Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign, trusted by over 500 NFL players for their winning smiles. And broadcasting live from Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star. Now your host, Nicole Hutchison.
Good morning, Cowboys Nation. Welcome into Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign here in the SWBC studio. I'm your host, Nicole Hutchison, alongside Brianna Aldridge, Christy Scales, Aisha Morrison. Ladies, good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
What? My mic's too loud now.
Are y'all okay this morning? Are y'all tired?
No, we're
roster cut
we're preparing for the Eagles.
I'm
this
actually
is a great week.
I love it.
Surprisingly enough.
It's actually, I don't. It's like a sad week too, though. You know,
Sure.
It's 53-man roster cut down, finalized today at 3 p.m. Eastern time. Central time, and just a lot of movement will be happening over the course of the next couple of hours. So far, there is a list. We'll just kind of break down those guys and we'll play roster, practice, squad, or cut for guys who they have some tough decisions to make, and a lot more on the show today. But just a quick update on the guys the Cowboys have cut is Denzel Daxton, Troy Pride, Tyler Neville, Nick Broker, Josh Kelly, John Stevens, Lyle Collins, Christian Matthew. And then as of today, waived Trayshawn Holden. And yesterday, they also moved Phil Maffa to IR. Just ladies, thoughts on so far the cuts the Cowboys have made?
I know that Trayshawn Holden, he caught a lot of traction with fans and media as training camp went on. But one thing we need to clarify is there's a big difference between release and waiver. Yes. So a guy like Trayshawn Holden is a rookie. If you're 4 years or less in the league, if you are not a vested veteran, you get waived, which means that you're exposed to waivers. So 31 other teams can claim Trayshawn Holden. If he goes unclaimed, then the Cowboys, I know that they would desperately want to sign him to the practice squad. But I think with Trayshawn, no matter how well he played in training camp, it was going to be hard for him to get into that top 6 or top 5 because he doesn't have the special teams experience and be able to go in and on game one and contribute on special teams the way that Jalen Brooks and or Ryan Flournoy can. And so I think that that's what hurt him.
Yeah, I agree. I'm sure that's the biggest difference. And, as Nicole said, it's a delicate time for guys. I know that we're interested in team building and things like that, but it is important to remember that some guys, they played their last down in football in preseason this week. So empathy is your friend. But in regard to Trayshawn Holden, I know that fans often be like, oh, I'm afraid that this guy's going to get picked up. I do believe that he has a little bit more interest than what people think. I think because some of the behavioral things and that stacked room in Oregon, he fell in this draft. I think him being with the Cowboys for 6 months, an NFL team being able to call over here and be like, hey, how's he been? How's he been in practices? Him building some rapport and stuff like that will be beneficial to him on the waiver wire. So hoping they get him back. But if they don't, Ryan Flournoy and Jalen Brooks have been impressive in preseason as well. So I know that decision is going to be tough as well between those guys. Any other surprises to y'all on that list?
I was gonna say that all the names on there, like nobody's like a surprise. I think like you guys touched on it, the wide receiver rooms we talked about. I wish we could keep all these guys, and we were having trouble. Like, would we keep 5? Would we keep 6? And it fluctuates on what they have to do on some other needs as well. I think it's going to get interesting when you're looking at a Flournoy and looking at Brooks, because if you would have asked me maybe 2.5 weeks ago, I would have been all in on Brooks, and then Flournoy just really wouldn't go away, and he's made some splash plays. And like Christy was mentioning, the importance of special teams, I think that surprised me is how well or how much he's been able to pick that up. So it's like, who do you want to take your chances when you do talking about waivers? Because I think any other team right now to find interest in those guys, and Trayshawn Holden as well. Like, unfortunately, it's so that group was so stacked when we started. It kind of, I've heard Brian Schottenheimer say so many good things about Holden. Like Chrissy mentioned, he became kind of a favorite out there, like a little underdog story. And we know there's some familiarity there with the wide receivers coach, going back to his Oregon days, But yeah, nothing is surprising. It's just going to get tougher from here. Honestly, they have I think the injuries with certain other groups is going to really influence who you would like to keep and who you'd like to stay. But injuries is the name of the game right now. I think going to really impact what the 53 looks like.
Mingo, opened up a spot for Brooks Sander.
That smooth things out.
And Moffa as well. That's opened another spot. Does that mean they're going to keep Miles Sanders? What does it mean for Deuce Vaughn? But in regards to special teams with Flournoy, I talked with C.J. Goodwin, who is the ace of special teams, and he's the go-to guy. Go talk to him. I always make a point early in the season and training camp. All right, who do we need to keep our eye on? And he told me that before the final preseason game Friday night versus Atlanta, that they were going to give Flournoy a longer look at gunner because Jalen Brooks and C.J. Goodwin have been gunners for this team, and they wanted to give Ryan a longer look. By the way, I had a nice conversation with Ryan. Did you guys know that his wife is taking ministry classes, seminary classes?
That's awesome.
Yeah, isn't that neat? Yeah, really nice young man and very nice family. So good for him if he's able to survive these cuts.
Yeah, and another thing to point out is with Phil Moffa, shoulder injury out of practice yesterday from the opening period where media could see. It depends on if they move him to season-ending IR or designation to return. But I do believe, Chris, you correct me if I'm wrong, they can only do 2 guys on designation to return. So a lot of decisions to make there because you got guys like Caitlin Carson, who that cornerback room, depending on if Trayvon Diggs is healthy to play week 1. We'll talk about that as well in the show. You also got Jonathan Mingo, who is out for quite some time as well. So just it's a lot of decisions to make there. But we're gonna play a little game instead of start, bench, cut. Right? It's a little remix. Roster. Who makes the roster? Who makes the practice squad? Who you cut? All right. Y'all ready?
All right.
Barnacles?
Love games.
No, I don't want that responsibility. Don't we have to?
Aisha want to keep everybody too.
No, I'm not. I'm ready today.
What Chris said, that's why.
He was like, you gotta
That's
let
what I
people
thought
go.
of.
And I'm like, I just don't have enough information.
It's like when I judge the cheerleaders. There are 36 that make it about 44, 45 get invited to training camp. They're like, Christy, you can't have 65 yeses. I'm like, yes, I can.
Yes, I can.
Meanwhile, I'll be like,
Can I?
go ahead.
Can I update really quick? Todd Archer just reported that the Cowboys are placing DN Peyton Turner on injured reserve, designated to return with broken ribs, tater tots. Poor guy. He'd been dealing with a rib issue since the first preseason game, and it became worse for Atlanta. He will miss the first 4 games. Wide receiver Jonathan Mingo knee will also be on IR designated.
Wow.
So that's your 2 guys right there.
Kalen.
that was a question mark.
What does that mean for Kalen?
Then
Because he's got to be either season-ending injury or he makes the roster, right?
And I don't see
a reason why. And even when you start getting into that cornerback room, I think that I know that the people are up and down seeing that Israel Mukuamu plays so late into the game in this last preseason game. But when you start talking about, to me, out of the 2 of those guys, I think Izzy has the more versatility, and he's shown more in games so far in his career. And then also, too, a guy like Zion Childress, who's splashed and has made some. And I think the Cowboys would like to develop him and see what else he has in a tank.
and Kimon, what about Zion or?
Yeah, that's another thing that's going to be down the pipe. But I wonder what they decide there.
This stresses me out.
I think Diggs and things being shaken up a little bit. We're still no uncertainty, but the fact that he is back as early as he is and at least practicing and being active, I think that does shake up this room. And
Very much
things
so.
are going to fall initially.
because it seems like he's come again. Nothing definitive, but it seems like he's pushing to be back in those earlier weeks. So they're just maybe trying to stay afloat because now you're able to look at a room and build with your number 1 cornerback in the mix, like you said. So
That Band-Aid on there.
I'm screaming.
I'm sure it's thick.
All right, ladies, let's get back to it. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Real fast. I'm gonna go.
We're
start.
playing a game. I forgot.
Yeah. It's all right. No worries. All good. Let's go with Princeton Fant.
Ooh, tater tot.
Roster, practice squad, cut. I know you're welcome. That's what I'm here for.
I'm gonna go practice squad. And I'm only gonna go practice squad because I do think that a lot of what he can do in kind of that H-back form with like tight end, running back field, what he can do in the blocking game, special teams. I do think that if you were to lose Lipke or anything, I think he could fill in and fill that role well. But I do think Rivaldo's shown some things. Fairweather has shown some things in the passing game, also in the blocking game. And so I
get there.
Barnacles. Well, I think that's the comp to me. Sorry. But Fant, I would say practice squad right now because I think he has some value later on if you need him.
Let's actually talk Rivaldo and Princeton Fant together to the tight end room. Let's do that.
Okay, sounds
Yeah, no, you're good.
Okay. Fant is practice squad and elevated the first 3 weeks, and then it'll fall out after that because the attrition will, decide
it
whether
go.
he gets moved up to the 53-man. And Rivaldo, his nickname is Touchdown Valdo, by the way, after the first. So he caught the touchdown pass in the first preseason game in LA, right? So the media, we go into the locker room afterwards, and the entry, it just happens to be right where the tight ends are. And Jake and all them are like, "Oh, y'all come in to interview Touchdown Valdo." They're like, "Touchdown Valdo." So, Rivaldo, I'm going to go with practice squad as well.
Okay, yeah.
I like that.
Both.
They go roll with three?
I think that they waive him. He can slide through, and that he'll be practice squad.
Like it.
Yeah, I'll agree with Chrissy on the last part. I think that's someone you're not worried about being picked up. So if you can keep on the practice squad, like you said, he flashed, but I think with the group, there's just too much there. And then Princeton Fant, same thing that Aisha was saying when I'm looking at what the room has. At the end of the day, that room had them injuries last year. You got one guy who started training camp on a boot. So I think if you can keep him on the practice squad, you do that as well because he does bring certain versatilities. I just, again, kind of buried in the group right now is when they're healthy.
And Brevin coming back to practice yesterday again.
Big. That's what I'm saying.
Changes
Starting
that
to
room.
boot.
These injuries, getting some of these guys back is shifting guys down the roster now. So it just is what it is.
Y'all know it's funny? Sorry, this is a side note before we get to the next one. Luna got a type.
He showed it. He showed
He got
it.
a type. The build, like the way they carry themselves,
Fair.
they're literally all the same, and that's why it's just so funny, like seeing the type of guys in that room. That I just wanted to make sure I threw that out there.
There's some versatility. Do you think that it's versatile enough? And that's what I'm asking because that's something that I thought about with Valdo and Fant as well is the fact that you have the receiving type tight ends, and then you have the guys that are blocking, and then you have a few guys that are kind of that hybrid. I think that they have some balance in those top three, and then the other guys that we've been talking about, Rivaldo and Fant, are guys that, if they needed to elevate, you wouldn't have to switch a whole bunch of stuff because some of the skill set is versatile, if that makes sense.
You made a great point about Fant with Lipke because he can do a lot of the same thing. So because if something were to happen to Hunter and him go out and you didn't have a guy like Fant that you can trust to recognize and do all those things, he gets a lot of work like Hunter does in practice in some of those different roles.
And something with Fant is that, he told me one thing was a point of emphasis for him was his route running and his catching ability. You saw him kind of get some first team reps. It was an open practice. I believe it was Wednesday. Just, getting that trust with, Dak if there are opportunities. So I think he's definitely grown in that area for sure as well to kind of like balance that tight end room and the skill set. So let's go to the running back room. I'm going to go Deuce Vaughn. Are y'all rostering him, practice squad, cut?
I think it's. I think they could get him back on the practice squad, but I do think just given how the room is looking,
Emily Davis. Sorry, I'm going to throw both of them out there.
Emily Davis.
Yeah, Deuce Vaughn, Malik Davis.
I think those are both guys that maybe you would try to get back on the practice squad, but I don't think that they make the roster at this point.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I
got
agree
real
with
quiet.
Aisha. Yeah, and he
Yeah.
that for Deuce Vaughn, a fan favorite, and played really well on Friday night. Really did. And then afterwards in the locker room, just offering such a great perspective. He was asked, what if, what's it like during cuts and what if? And he's like, going on 3 years, what a blessing this has been, and hopes it can continue. But I mean, if you cut him, I can see someone like an Andy Reid or somebody like that having some fun things for a guy with his kind of skill set. So I hope that he would be able to slide through and the Cowboys would bring him back, because when you talk about the right kind of guy that you want in the locker room, he's definitely one of them.
Yeah, I remember talking to Deuce after his preseason. We're on the road somewhere when he did very well, and unfortunately, like Christy said, he did have a good game in Game 3. But I feel like this is kind of the same story that he's had, where he shines in the preseason. And not to say it's strictly his fault. I don't think he was always utilized correctly with what his skill set is, unfortunately. But now when you have other guys in here, some rookies who are figuring it out or looking like they're figuring it out a little bit faster. And ironically, I think I shared this with you guys. I was talking to Deuce's agent, and who just happened to be at the game, and we kind of communicate. He covers a few other guys, but he was just like, man, I just hope, Deuce gets those opportunities and da-da-da. And how it was quiet here a moment ago, that's kind of how my reaction was, because it was like, like everything Chrissy said, this is someone you want in your locker room. He doesn't give up, and it was pretty rough last year for the whole running back group. But I was like, yeah, like, hopefully he can. But in my head, I'm like, I don't even know if that all the opportunities can do it. I think he has to do something amazing, because you have the film office, which obviously them putting, his injury or what have you, but obviously they're looking at him differently. You have Malik Davis, who's on the couch a couple weeks ago, come in and kind of,
oh my
flash
gosh,
out.
The greatest hit of the preseason.
That's what I'm like. I hope
special
Malik,
teams.
I hope Malik is someone who they can keep on the practice squad, because he's proven if someone goes down, he can come in there and make some type of impact. But I just think having a guy like Jaden Blue now in the mix, they clearly have Javonte Williams in a bubble wrap ready to make him RB1. So you hope that works out or what have you. But I just think even if it doesn't, I just don't see a spot for Deuce on. And maybe he's, tired of, maybe there's somebody else who can utilize him a little bit better. Maybe he doesn't, like I said, might be fighting to get a fresh start. It's happened for other teams, other guys that we got in other position groups who are flashing here and didn't have a great, start. And maybe that's Deuce's story somewhere else. So.
All right, let's move to the offensive line.
Nicole, you're not giving your opinion.
I'm sorry. I know you got no. Like, I'm trying to go quick
so
just
many
because
humans.
it's so many humans. That's sick. You're sick. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to move quick because we got a whole bunch of other stuff to hit.
And I'm trying to keep up
and we
with
spent
what's going on
Dave
Twitter
did
right
the whole
now.
show breaking down 53-man roster. Didn't even get to finish last week, so I'm sorry. All right, offensive line: Ajani Cornelius. Sadiq Charles. They've already released Lyle Collins. They've already released or waived. I'm sorry, Nick Broker. So yeah, I'm gonna go Ajani Cornelius,
They gonna keep
Sadiq
him.
Charles,
Uh-huh.
Jaron Christian. Yep. Which ones are you rostering? Practice squad, cut.
I think you keep Cornelius. I think he showed some good things in practice. I noticed him more, I want to say, in the games than I did in practice when I was present at training camp. Like his feet, like how he's able to bounce to the outside. He can lead block pretty well. He has some power behind his pads. And obviously the Cowboys, this is a draft pick. This is someone that they want to develop. But I do think he showed some poise as a tackle at that right tackle position. And I do think that's a position that's been malnourished for a while. As far as Sadiq Charles, Adeniji, I want to say his name. Adeniji. I will say I know he has some swing value, and I also know that again he has manned that right side, and it hasn't looked crazy when they were with the twos, and so I do think that's a gentleman that out of those veteran guys that you signed is someone that I'm a little bit more interested in keeping over Sadiq Charles. At this point, I know Sadiq had an injury also too through camp, and then the last gentleman was it Broker? No, not Broker. You said you already had
already
Broker.
waited.
What was the
Yeah,
last gentleman?
Believe that's all I said.
Yeah.
It was
Christian.
Jaron Christian. I'm sorry, I did.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Cut him.
Cut him. All right.
No, I can't. See, that's why I don't like.
No, it's practice squad, roster, or cut.
Yeah, I
Cutting them? Nothing wrong with that.
yeah.
All right.
I think they're gonna run with 10 and call it a day.
Okay.
I'm worried they may go 9.
9.
Yeah.
I think that's what we said 9 last week.
I think so.
we said 9.
Well,
I've been hearing 9.
I think you're going to have to go long on the defensive line
Yeah, they need more help
because
over
with
there.
Micah, even if Micah is signed today or if he's signed next week, do you expect him to go out and do 45 plays?
No.
So I think you're going to have to go long on the line, and that bodes well for like the James Houstons of the world, right? So I think you may have to go short on offensive line, or you may only go 5 wide receivers and hope that you can slide Jalen Brooks through.
Barnacles.
Yeah.
That's
why the
I looked.
receiver
So
number
last
keeps changing
week,
in my mind.
excuse me, last year in the opener, Micah had 69 plays. That's a ton. The next week he had 44. But let's say there's normally about 65 plays in a game. I don't think it's reasonable to have, even if he gets some practices in, even if Trayvon gets practices in and plays,
yeah.
that you would have them do, certainly not Trayvon, but I can't imagine more than like 25 plays.
That's fair.
So you have to go long, which means you have to go short elsewhere. And it may be offensive line. I say yes to Adeniji because he can be your swing. Cornelius, I think they can slide him through and get him to practice squad. They're going to have to
Probably.
take that chance. Christian, no. And Sadiq Charles, no, because you've got on the interior with TJ Bass, Brock Hoffman, you've got guys who can be backup guards. And what about Awesome Richards? I think Awesome Richards is on the bubble here.
Yeah, I think
I would have had him as one of my 10 or 9 going into this season. But when he got leapfrogged by Nate Thomas, so it's going to be really interesting on this offensive line.
Thomas Bass, Hoffman, Adeniji,
And I need my
Cornelius.
list. Messing around.
I got
Full list
10,
in front of
but
me.
we'll see. Y'all saying that. I think I do agree with you that you probably can sneak.
I'm not advocating either way. I'm just saying I think the reality is it may be 9.
No.
No, I agree. One of those groups is going to be shorthanded because of how contract situations.
Barnacles.
That's just how. That's why. Yeah, that's the frustration of it all. It's not nobody believing Mike is not going to be ready. It's just it's the facts. But out of everybody, just keep it brief. Nicole, I know she said she didn't.
I was like, go ahead, Nicole.
But I agree with it. What both of them said. Cornelius, I picked just because I feel like anytime you have a guy that you invested in the draft, he has the upper hand of some of these other veterans that came in, and unless the other veterans come in and really shine, then I don't see it. The names, like if I have to go look like who and see what they did, no. So, but I do think Cornelius has a spot on this team.
All right, well, I'm going to keep stressing y'all out on this next segment. We're going to talk defensive line. We're talking cornerbacks. We're talking linebackers. And see who makes the roster, who going to be cut, or who on the practice squad. We'll be right back with more Girls Talk, Boys Talk.
When you're on the field, you know what it takes to lead your team and play with confidence. But that confidence shouldn't just stop at game time. It should follow you off the field, too. Join over 500 NFL players who trust Invisalign, the #1 doctor-recommended clear aligner brand. Ready to take the first step towards a smile you'll love? Visit Invisalign.com/NFL and find a doctor near you today. Transform your smile and take your confidence to the next level, both on the field and off.
Discover Aiden, the official luggage partner of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Known for top-tier engineering and craftsmanship, Aiden offers more than just bags. Originating from Australia and designed in New York, it merges fashion, design, and culture. Used by Dallas Cowboys players, staff, and the entire organization, Aiden provides style and functionality for all travelers. Visit AidenTheBrand.com and use code AidenXCowboys for 25% off your purchase. Travel like your favorite stars with Aiden.
All right, Cowboys fans, this one's for us. If the men in your life bleed blue and silver like we do, I've found the perfect way to elevate their game day rituals. Gillette just released their best razor in Cowboys colors, and it is everything a Cowboys fan could want. The new Gillette Labs official Dallas Cowboys licensed razor combines his Cowboys pride with Gillette's best shave. And with 50% longer lasting blades, it is truly the gift that keeps on giving. Get it while you can at Gillette.com/NFL. Gillette's best shave is also available as heated.
How does the cheerleader's hair always look so perfect? We asked, and they shared one of their biggest beauty secrets. If you want hair like theirs and confidence to match, use Babyliss Pro styling tools. The Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders use Babyliss Pro curling irons to get those perfect game day curls. To get the hair you see on the cheerleaders, head to BabylissPro.com. Use the code Cowboys20 for 20% off Babyliss Pro tools, the official styling tools of the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Get the discount while it lasts. Offer may be withdrawn at any time at advertiser's discretion.
Cowboys Nation, the 2025 Dallas Cowboys schedule is officially here and limited tickets are available right now. Get ready to bring the noise as you watch your Cowboys live at AT&T Stadium when they host the NFC East rivals. Eagles, Giants, and Commanders, plus the Packers, Chiefs, Chargers, Vikings, and Cardinals. Visit DallasCowboys.com/tickets or SeatGeek.com, the official primary ticketing partner for the Dallas Cowboys.
Y'all ready for the Cowboys-Eagles game next Thursday?
Absolutely not.
Y'all sure?
Wake up! I'm about to act the fool.
Hey.
I just want y'all to know next week, once it hit me, that football is coming, and my mind start feeling footballish.
Don't leave your body
Football.
No, I'm serious.
like that.
You got
I'm
that
pumped.
That's So Raven thing. So she's sick. She's sick. But no, y'all, like, football is here.
Mm-hmm.
There's just nothing like it. I can't wait. And it's going to start smelling like pumpkin spice.
Don't they?
And
what is
especially in
today,
Philly.
The 26th? I think pumpkin spice is on the menu starting today.
Oh, really? Wow.
That's
Yeah.
Earlier and earlier.
It's a little hot for Texas pumpkin spice. That's fine.
Hey.
That part. It's okay.
All right, let's get back to it. All right, defensive line, because Chrissy was making a really good point about just playing Micah Parsons. If they do sign him today, they sign him tomorrow. If they sign him next week, if they sign him next month. Realistically, the amount of snaps that he's playing or he possibly will play should not be that much, but we also don't know. So just where do you feel like the personnel with the D-line is, and who would you roster, who would you practice squad, who would you cut? Chrissy, I'm going to start with you.
Well, I tell you, the ones that the biggest surprises of camp and preseason are Perion Winfrey and James Houston. So the fact that Peyton Turner, IR designated to return, surprises me a bit. We didn't get to see all of what he can do, even though he played in those games, just because the rib injury did come so early in that with that first preseason game that literally every play after that he'd be, the next couple games he'd be kind of hunched over and stuff. I mean, so I admire him for playing through what is among the most painful injuries you can have. But I think Houston. I think Houston and Winfrey have done enough to make this team. So,
What are you doing with Jay Toia?
Yo, you keep
His size.
practice squad.
I don't know that you can get him through. That's the issue, though. You
Because
think you
of
can
how
slide
deep
him
the
through?
ends are. Because of how deep
The ends is messing up everything.
Well, I
in
just
a good
again, I just think
way-ish.
you might have to go a little longer on ends
Because Micah
if
ain't
Micah, and it's not that Micah wouldn't want to be out there 50 plays, 45 plays. I'm just wondering if it's reasonable that you don't want him to have a soft tissue injury
It's true.
in the first game or first 2 weeks because he hasn't, gone through. Has he been working out? Is he in great shape? Yes, but there's football shape
Yeah.
and there's non-football shape.
Who the people? Say the people. again.
Sorry.
She said James Houston, Perion Winfrey. I just said defensive line. Where personnel-wise, who are you
That-
keeping? Who are you cutting?
That's confusing. The Peyton Turner thing is confusing me, with respect. Now, I do understand that the coaches, I think they valued him from the run-stopping ability. They would move him on the inside. I saw during practice, and because he's so tall and he has all that length, he was able to slip some of those guards and help out there. Do what they got to do, take care of the player. That's fine. Who is the other gentleman? Tyrus Wheat.
Yeah.
Whereas I think that he's giving you some things in the passing game, in the running game, James Houston as well. I think James Houston really came in here and messed up some people's day too.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think that he changed how that edge room looked as well than what we initially thought. Because Tyrus Wheat's been around for a while. They've kept him a while around because he's a gentleman that can help in the run and does have some pass rush ability. But I think what James Houston showed as especially just as a pure pass rusher, put some stank on that room.
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
Ernest Brown. I think they like what they saw from Ernest Brown.
Pray Saints. I hope they do keep him. I hope they do. With this defensive line and what I believe and talking to the guys in practice, what they want to do, they want guys that can get off the ball have high motors, and tackle well. And I think with this this D line room, they're wanting all these guys to funnel and contain, and I just feel like they want length and speed on this defensive line to me. So that's just what I think is going to prevail.
James Houston pulling a Carl Lawson. You know how he came in last year.
Oh yeah, late last year.
That's a great analogy.
Like, you know,
Great
5 sacks in
analogy.
2024. I think he pulling Carl Lawson. My bad.
Oh no, that's on me. That's on me. I didn't mean to.
No, you're good.
What happened with the? We confident that?
I know you're gonna say Mozzie.
Yeah, are we confident that that's just set in stone? Are you, Christy?
I think that they don't want to give up so early on a first-round draft pick.
This year 3, right?
Yeah.
That's a nice way to say it. All right. Well,
I think that's the pride of not just the Cowboys, but Jerry Jones this is a place where they like to draft and develop. And I don't think we know that Jerry Jones has a lot of say-so in what's happening next. And I just think he's someone who's not going to throw in the towel on a first-round draft pick yet, regardless. And then I think, to be fair, like, yes, there's been like my list had Osa, Solomon, Mozzie, Perion Winfrey, and I think out of the group, Perion Winfrey maybe for me was more of a surprise, a good surprise that I saw out there. But I also think someone brought this to my attention, is who's really outside of, we know what Osa and Solomon can do, who's really outshining Mozzie Smith, or is this just the fact that you haven't seen what you expected to see out of a Mozzie Smith going into year 3, that other rookies or people who weren't expected to do as great, they're doing a serviceable job. And I think if it's a serviceable job, and we're talking a former first round pick in year 3 with the new DC in here who maybe feels like they can pull something out of him, or maybe, you never know. This is not Matt Eberflus had nothing to do with when Mozzie was here. Mm-hmm. This may be something where he doesn't, in the inside, internally doesn't want to, but they're like, hey, you gotta try to figure this out.
Yeah, well, can I just say one other thing about Mozzie? It's not just a first round pick investment of, hey, we want to be right. We don't want to miss on someone. There are financial implications with every one of these moves. And the investment in a first-round pick, if you cut Mozzie, it's over $7 million in dead cap space. So you're getting nothing, and he's counting over $7 million against the cap. So if it's even between a couple of guys, in your mind, and how much you think they can contribute, which way are you going to go?
They just got to give him the snaps.
And then to your point, too, if you can get him in to look serviceable and you don't feel like you can build, well, like Chrissy said, well, now you get something out of him. Like you can make a trade if someone else steps up or what have you. It's not just losing money. This is a business at the end of the day.
I got a question. Before we get into our other positions, I'm sorry. What do you feel like Eberflus can pull out of Mozzie that
nobody
else has?
Don't say it like that.
I'm being serious. No, seriously.
And not just Eberflus, but White Cotton.
White Cotton,
the position coach.
He's fantastic at what he does. And we've seen him develop young talent in this league for a while.
Can you make him faster off the ball?
That's really when you look at Mozzie, that's honestly one of the biggest problems is the get off. And I know that's something that the coaches got with him on very early. The previous to the previous regime worked on that with him because his stance come out of college was a little different. But I think I want to. Well, first of all, if I'm being honest about what I've seen on the tape, Perion Winfrey has looked miles more efficient at the position, and obviously too they're using Perion at different places. But it just I'm concerned about what if they are going to play him, if they are going to keep him. How many snaps is he getting a game? Because I do think the motor's the motor, and the motor's going to be the motor. And I know that those bigger guys do not typically have motors. I hope they have an adequate rotation for him so he isn't tired out, because that's something we'll see later in games with him, is that the pads will get high. You'll see him huffing and puffing. His hands are really non-factors when it comes to engaging. So for me, I don't know. I know the money matters and everything. I do also care about the precedent that's set, and if there's a standard, then I hope that the standard is met. And I do think this is his third year. He deserves a little bit more time. But if it's not there, I do not think that this is something that you can sit on and wait on and just continue to wait on, especially when there might be gentlemen behind him that are developing or doing what they need to do. We'll see what Coach Whitecotton is able to do.
Right.
But that's all I got right now.
Okay.
And then what, Nicole, just to touch on when you're like, what can he bring on? What can they bring out of him that hasn't been done? Yes, to both of your guys' point, you know, there's certain, like, coming out the ball, you can't, like, how do you make that better? But I think it's also, like, you have to think about the mental aspect of it and where he's at, because just to go back to Kyer, when I had that conversation with him, people could have said the same thing in Buffalo. Like, people are actually surprised that this man is not only making the team, but is a starter on it. Like, they can't believe that. This is a guy who's coming into his fourth year, had 3 not great years in Buffalo, and he straight up told me, he was like, this is the first time where people believe in what I can do. And I was in a situation where he had 3 different DCs in Buffalo, or 3 different play callers in Buffalo. And he said, no, I was only getting opportunities because other people were hurt, and I was never their guy. So you never know with Amazi Smith. There's been a lot of changes here since he's been here as well.
Yeah, he's a different guy each year.
And that's a lot to ask from. That's a lot to ask. But my only counter to that would be also too is that's the NFL, unfortunately.
Very much so.
And a lot of guys adjust, and a lot of guys have to do it as well. And so I have plenty of empathy, but there does need to be a standard of play, and that it needs to be met. And I'm not trying to have this linebacker core that I believe is going to be one of the better ones you've had in years getting their asses knocked around. All right,
cool. All right, linebacker room. Let's talk about it. Let's go. Oh, boy, I mean, this is tough. All right, Shamar James.
The linebacker room is our favorite room, y'all.
Justin Barron, Buddy Johnson, Damone Clark. Yeah, Darius Harris.
What is Buddy? I know that he's played, but what was his injury earlier in the preseason? I felt like he got banged up in that first game or something like that. It doesn't matter.
It's fine.
He's been around for a while. I do think that Harris is a guy that they do like because of the blitzing ability, some of the special teams things he's able to do. Do you know anything about some of the stuff he does on special teams? Did he do anything on special teams?
He did play a lot of teams.
He does play a lot of teams this year.
But that was just because you didn't have guys that normally play teams playing teams, some of the starters and stuff. But I think Buddy Johnson on teams would be really good, but I think he's a practice squad guy. He is a 3-year player, so he would have to clear waivers. I think Justin Barron is a guy that's definitely practice squad. They gave him the nearly $250,000 bonus. Excuse me, not bonus, guarantee, because they think that he's, potential practice squad guy. And I think Damone Clark had the most outstanding training camp that he's had, and a good preseason, and so much so that they didn't even have him play that final preseason game. So I'm really happy for Damone, who's been a guest on Girls Talk, Boys Talk. But I think that Buddy and Darius are not going to make the team, and I'm not sure if you can fit both of them back on the practice squad.
Might just be one or the other.
Buddy Johnson's knee injury.
That's what it was.
Knee injury.
With Damone Clark, I think you get just like your point that you were making earlier about Elam. Damone Clark struggled last year with the system that Zimmer had them in, and that was something I had conversations with him about, and just being a scheme fit and fitting with that coaching regime, and that just is what it is. And he's really. You see Eberflus's influence on this linebacker room so much already. I remember some of the guys saying out there, like, he can't help himself. Like, he'll go around, because he has to, he'll go around to the other position groups, but he linger at their linebacker room just a little bit more. And so Damone Clark, the decisiveness from him, the way he's reading the field, I think that's made a big jump. And so I agree. I think that he's a gentleman that deserves to make the team.
Dave Borgonzi, who's the linebackers coach
as well,
he's worked. He had been here before. Great guy, knew him from before, but he'd worked with Flus at Flus's other stops, so he's like an extension of Flus. And so Damone is really benefiting from the coaching this year for sure.
What you got, girl?
When we did our little projections, the only name that Nicole mentioned, I did have Damone Clark on my list of linebackers. I think what you guys both just said. This was someone coming in, question marks. Okay, if he doesn't do it this year, this might be the end of the road from him. Had so much promise coming out of LSU, but just didn't see any of that coming here. And got to talk to him after his that second preseason game, and the words that he was using, the theme of our conversation was confidence. His confidence is just showing on the field. You love that for him. I do think Buddy Johnson, like veteran guy, if you will, going into year 3, big fan of Buddy Johnson. I think he had more influence on the special teams. Anytime you can be a utilization to the special teams, I think you have a chance of being on that practice squad. But yeah, I think Damone Clark is the star of that, that list. So happy for him.
He ain't 3-3 no more.
That's it. All right, ladies, we're going to take our second break. We got to go. But we'll be right back talking cornerbacks and Trayvon Diggs.
Jesus.
Back with more Girls Talk, Boys Talk after the break.
Cowboys fans, when it comes to navigating the ever-changing world of tax, your business needs a partner it can trust to tackle even your biggest tax challenges. Ryan is the largest firm in the world dedicated exclusively to business taxes. Our team of tax professionals has local expertise in all areas of tax and can help you uncover savings opportunities you didn't know you had. Learn more about how Ryan can improve your overall corporate tax performance by visiting Ryan.com. Ryan, the official tax partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
When you're on the field, you know what it takes to lead your team and play with confidence. But that confidence shouldn't just stop at game time. It should follow you off the field, too. Join over 500 NFL players who trust Invisalign, the #1 doctor-recommended clear aligner brand. Ready to take the first step towards a smile you'll love? Visit Invisalign.com/NFL and find a doctor near you today. Transform your smile and take your confidence to the next level, both on the field and off.
Discover Aiden, the official luggage partner of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Known for top-tier engineering and craftsmanship, Aiden offers more than just bags. Originating from Australia and designed in New York, it merges fashion, design, and culture. Used by Dallas Cowboys players, staff, and the entire organization, Aiden provides style and functionality for all travelers. Visit AidenTheBrand.com and use code AidenXCowboys for 25% off your purchase. Travel like your favorite stars with Aiden.
How does the cheerleader's hair always look so perfect? We asked, and they shared one of their biggest beauty secrets. If you want hair like theirs and confidence to match, use Babyliss Pro styling tools. The Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders use Babyliss Pro curling irons to get those perfect game day curls. To get the hair you see on the cheerleaders, head to BabylissPro.com. Use the code Cowboys20 for 20% off Babyliss Pro tools, the official styling tools of the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Get the discount while it lasts. Offer may be withdrawn at any time at advertiser's discretion.
Are you a Cowboys super fan? The search is on for the 2025 Fan of the Year presented by Captain Morgan. Now through September 29th, nominate the extraordinary NFL fans, dynamic duos, and game changers who rep the Cowboys with pride and turn every game day into an unforgettable adventure. You can be sent to Super Bowl 60. Enter to win at NFL.com/Fan of the Year today.
Woo!
Super Bowl 60.
All right.
Is it 60?
Yeah. 60. Time is moving.
It is.
Just like it is for this 53-man roster cut down.
Whoa.
I love that. See what I did there? Period. All right. Cornerbacks. Ladies, who y'all have making the roster? Who do y'all have on practice squad? Who are y'all cutting?
Man.
Yep.
How many?
Well, I think Mike,
Let's do the entire
Mike
secondary.
Smith on the practice squad.
Let's go entire secondary.
Safety Mike Smith on the
Okay.
practice squad and bring him back. He would be waived. He's a rookie. I think it's going to be interesting. Are you able to keep both Keemon Hall and Zion Childress? I don't know if you can, and then I don't know if you can keep Mukwamu, but we talked about him earlier. I love his position flex, that not only can he play safety, but you can bring him down in the box, and the other guys don't have that kind of versatility. So you've got a hybrid safety cornerback, basically box guy, that no one else
Yeah.
can provide.
How many
so that's a
y'all
tough
think-
one.
How many y'all think they keeping?
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
6.
Were you counting safeties and cornerbacks together?
I'm gonna talk about.
So
let's
like
just talk about
12
the
A corner. I was just looking.
Let's just
I
do
was
corner
talking
first.
whole
My brain
secondary.
can't. Okay,
Yeah.
my brain.
Well,
Jesus.
dang.
Fine. Whole second.
Andrew Booth and suit up.
Oh, he's made the team, I think.
Yeah,
He's
I
made
think so.
And let me just say one more thing.
Don't make your
I'm
face.
still not convinced that one of the corners that's going to be on the 53-man roster is a member of another team right now.
Okay, then somebody needs somebody.
Yeah.
That means somebody getting the boot for real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a question, Christy, that maybe you can answer a little bit better. Because I feel like it's a little different because I think Brian Schottenheimer's new to us when we're looking at how he does things in the preseason. So when I saw Izzy out there playing so much in game 3, as late as he was, like, did that had any red flags to you? Because I just feel like
Yes.
for a guy,
Yes, but at the same time, his position flex, he could also play he really played safety and not corner in that game. So they needed enough bodies to get through the game,
Okay.
and he could be a body at both positions. So that's one where it kind of hurt. It's like Awesome Richards. Awesome
right? Yeah.
played. He backed up at both left tackle and at guard. So they needed him to get through, and he was going to play third preseason game anyway. But the fact that Booth was not playing in that final preseason
That's
game,
why I was like, I thought
that
was
was
a little-
great for him.
I do.
But is Andrew Booth better than someone that you could get that's on another squad right now that's going to get released?
They gonna see. That's
Yeah.
what the scouts for. I think Kemon is gonna end up being a practice squad guy again.
Think he can slide through? That's a very valuable thing to be able to play in the slot.
I agree.
It's risky, is all I'm saying.
It's risky. I wonder, are we gonna see who's gonna be the other boundary corner? Is it gonna be Bland? If Trayvon
Trayvon.
doesn't play, it's gonna be Bland,
Booth.
Elam,
Yeah.
and
Booth would.
Yeah.
Andrew Booth.
so they're gonna put Bland in the slot, and then Booth on the boundary.
Maybe.
Pray Saints. All right.
Maybe. I mean, that's how they were working early in camp. That was the
seen
first
it.
3 weeks of camp.
I think this is the afloat I was talking about until Trayvon gets.
Afloat.
And you still got to think you got Savone Rebel coming back. You got Josh Butler coming
Flair.
back. Like,
But when?
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
what is the update on Rebels?
He's still not practicing.
There's no update.
Yeah.
so
The update is that there is none. No
That's
update.
that's
So,
unsettling.
when we talk about this room, so I want to say I'm pretty sure that they are still interested in Zion Childress. I just think that he's gonna, depending on if they want to go youth, then they'll keep him. If they don't, which I'm kind of leaning towards maybe not, like him being a practice squad guy, and them going with the veteran guys to start, just because, like you said, you're trying to stay afloat. So. Maybe he's a practice squad guy just based off of that. Another gentleman that interests me in regard to the safety room, Nicole, is Elijah Clark.
Oh, yeah.
Wanya Thomas had a very quiet camp. That's my big dog, my big dog.
Yeah. He missed a lot of time with injury.
But
so.
he missed a lot of time. And when he was out, guys like Marquise Bell and Elijah Clark took those snaps. So I wonder if Elijah Clark during that time built enough rapport with the coaches and what they seen, and he's a tackling machine. What a sound tackler in the run. I wonder if he's a guy that they want to stash on the practice squad, maybe bring him
I think
back
they'd
around
love
they
to
decide
stash
do
him,
it.
but, ooh, boy.
He's hard.
They got a lot of people to stash.
The only good thing is that cut day is a million zillion people now.
yeah.
So maybe he'll get lost in the shift.
You have over 1,100 players that are going to be unemployed
I
by
don't know.
3 o'clock Central this afternoon.
We don't
All right.
say nobody getting cut.
Real fast, who has the toughest decision to make?
My weenus.
Who has the toughest decision?
This is like, what do y'all be
Amazing.
doing on this show?
Christy's over it.
I hit my funny bone.
I'm sorry.
I've heard it referred to that before, so, okay.
Who's got the toughest decision to make? Go.
You mean like position group?
Position.
Oh, okay.
Position group.
DBs, I think there's just so many moving parts in terms of injuries and young players that would be hard to slide through the waiver wire.
All right. What you got? Oh gosh. You're
Wow,
stressing.
that is
Yeah, let's go ahead. Yep.
that's a
Okay.
medical term.
What's the question?
No. Oh.
Sorry, no.
Okay, go.
We're talking about the safeties and what's going to be the hardest cut. Mm-hmm. I really do think the cornerback room is the most stressful because of the injuries, and I do think the Izzy and Keemon conversation might be one of the hardest. It's between Izzy and Keemon and Childress and Keemon because you got to figure out who has the most upside, who fits the most right now. Like, it is a difficult decision to make. So to me, that's the hardest one.
I think the DB as well, but just to be different here, I'm going to say the running backs because I think they're dealing with their own injuries. I think Javonte Williams, we're putting a lot of faith in that situation, and we haven't seen him take a single snap. So if that doesn't go right, then what do we do? What is are you keeping Miles Sanders? We know Phil Mafas, that was the guy who we were excited about. Kind of the surprise, he's injured now. Malik Davis, we talked about him sticking around possibly. Who am I missing? Jaden Blue, he's injured, but he's dealing with the same injury I think that he had before. Yeah, so that's kind of concerning, if you will. Like, it's pretty early to be dealing with that. So yeah, that's my question mark. Oh, how many are you keeping? What are we doing there?
All right, ladies. Well, this has been great. We will be back here tomorrow at 8 a.m.
I can't wait.
That's gonna be great. Wow.
Wake up!
So much fun.
Chris is on it.
Woo! Cowboys Nation, wake up with us tomorrow here on Girls Talk, Boys Talk. For Brianna Aldridge, Christy Scales, Aisha Morrison,
Who's that
Cole
girl over
Hutchison.
there?
We'll see y'all back here bright and early.
Who's gonna be here?
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!